Hello everybody, I'm Gordon Howell from the UK, and today I'd like to talk about Mina and flow profiling. From my knowledge of brewing by hand, I've developed an understanding of flow profiles, of what water we introduce to the coffee, when and why, and its impact on the end beverage. So in an espresso, flow is the dominant factor of how we control pre-infusion and infusion before pump pressure is reached. Flow is measured in grams per second. In a traditional machine, flow is generated simply by a pump operating at a certain pressure, normally 8 or 9 bar, and it's that pressure through a flow restrictor, normally at 0.6 mil, that generates a flow rate. Typically, it is between 9 and 11 grams per second. Pre-infusion is the introduction of water before pressure is reached. Infusion is the ability for coffee to take on that water, and extraction is when we see the shot start through the portafilter. If you have a strong flow rate, like a traditional machine, extraction starts to take place while infusion is still happening. This means loss of aroma and potentially poor extraction. Her DFR operates much like the aperture on a camera. Through the app, we can connect digitally with her, and we can open and close this, which changes the flow rate from slow to aggressive digitally through the app. Understanding your settings. The first one is flow. So through auto calibration, Mina develops 9 settings. 1 to 5 being soft, 6 to 8 being traditional, and 9 we would term as very aggressive. So the next profile setting that we control through the app is the steps. Now this controls both flow and time in a automatic process, a semi-automatic process where we control it through the lever, or a fully manual where we engage the steps manually by hand and we control the time each setting is on. We now have control of what happens in the pre-infusion and infusion stage. This means we now have better control over the total brewing process. So now we're going to embrace Mina's functionality, her capability and her potential. And we're going to do that by looking at 3 profiles. The first of these is going to be a traditional profile on setting 1, which is automatic. The next is going to be a semi-automatic profile by using the yoke lever on a 2-step profile. And last is freestyling a little bit. We're going to be using a full manual mode and use the yoke to control the 5 flow rates that we have, and I will control time throughout the process. Evaluating these profiles both from a visual point of view and a sensory point of view, they will look and taste completely different. We are not saying one tastes better than the other, just that they are fundamentally different by the way we've presented water to the coffee during the pre-infusion and infusion process. With this process, you will find your sweet spot because you're able to control the dynamics of the espresso in terms of balance, acidity, sweetness, and the overall feel of the espresso, its length, its aftertaste, its texture. We believe this process and potential makes it better. Above all, have fun experimenting with Mina and her flow profiles, and please share these profiles with us through the Dalla Corte Facebook page. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, cheers.